Good morning. Welcome to Presence of Light with Charlie Riverman Bergeron. And hopefully this is on Humanity Healing's page and not my own. As always, I begin my talks in the mornings on Fridays here on the southwest coast of Maine. We have the beautiful sun shining, but the world of technology does what the world of technology does. And sometimes I have to laugh rather than get frustrated. I said to my beloved, I spend more time on computers trying to fix them and correct their errors than anything else. So I look at that and I say, well, at some point, there's a joy I must be getting from doing that. And today's topic is exactly joy. It's joy for all. And how we can shift and change from a moment of frustration or a moment of remorse or sadness to joy. We have this amazing ability as the beings we truly are to look at life from a completely different energy field. We are the masters of our energy fields. And even though we have a world around us that is trying to influence, distract, distort, whatever, the energy fields, both around us and within us, whether intentionally or not, is irrelevant. We have the sovereign power to tap into the field of joy. Good morning, Vivian. Good morning, Gloria. Good morning, Anita. Good morning, Bhakta. Good morning, Melissa. Thank you and for being here. Thank you for showing up and listening to this message that came to me this morning about joy. And the joy came from this card here. I think I can hold it up so you can see it here. And it's joy. It's an angel, and the angel's name is Ramaella. And I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but I'm sure Ramaella is not concerned about my pronunciation. And as I tapped into that, I realized that, we live in this world right now where there is so much stress, so much fear, pain, sorrow, not knowingness, wondering. Everything is shifting slowly and rapidly simultaneously. And it's hard for us to maintain focus. So when we can't maintain our focus, what invariably happens is that we become disoriented. And it's a natural process. It's not that somebody's doing this intentionally, although if that's what we want to believe, we can believe anything. That's the power of our mind. We can focus on anything. And it's what do we do with that focus that creates what happens in the world. So the message today, let's focus on joy. How many times do you sit and think about joy in your life? How many times do any of us recognize joy for more than a moment and actually sit and realize how many moments of joy actually happen to us? So the lines that I wrote in my notes here are: home is where the heart is. Celebrate love. Transformation is like moving. I'm going to put this down a little here so I can scroll it. Transformation is like moving. When minds are focused and tranquil, our hearts become more powerful. Keeping love alive creates joy. And there is no separation between love and joy. Be in that moment when we radiate a joyful energy field that is felt by everyone. Joy is something that is truly natural. It is the sign within that tells us everything is running smoothly. Joy has no thought process. It's a natural response to a lack of mental interference. How many times do we have to stop and search for joy? Or, more commonly, look for moments of happiness? Wow, joy, all about joy. Something to shift our focus into a place of more light where we can really look at joy being the emotional energy of light. We don't think about light. We talk about light, the light we are. But what would it be if we defined the energy of light? What is that? What does light bring us? And for me this morning, light brings me joy. As this light shines in my window, I am joyous. That's my natural response. And I would say it's probably the natural response for most of us. And the perfect expression is when you have days and days on end of rain or storm and clouds. And then that sunny day, that one sunny day comes. What does that do to you? It brings us joy. And so we don't need to study anything to figure out joy. All we need to do is sit and truly experience and contemplate joy. Even just contemplating the word joy this morning, we acquire something. We acquire something that we think is outside of us and unattainable, but is dwelling within us all the time. No matter what's happening to us, joy is dwelling within us, hidden beneath the surface of all the turmoil, all the chaos, all of the tragedy. Joy dwells right here in our hearts. And for those of you who need to experience more joy, this is my message this morning. Find ways in your life in which you can embrace joy. And it doesn't have to be extravagant. It can be just a walk in nature. It can be cleaning your house. Some people get joy from cleaning their house. It doesn't matter how you achieve it, lest it doesn't hurt someone else. If you get joy from hurting someone else, then you have another problem. So the reality is, joy is about abundance. Joy is about putting things being in order. Joy comes from a cohesiveness of energy. It's a natural process. And when we think of angels, we think of them as joyous. Yes, we've been told that there are dark angels, just like we've been told there are dark whatever. That's the duality we live in. But angels are light. They're light energy. We are light. We are light energy. We are angels in physical form. That's a hard pill to swallow for most people. But I can assure you that if you talk to somebody that's had a death experience, they will explain that or say that in many different ways. But what's common among all of them is that they know that they are far greater at some level of beingness than just human. And they witnessed it, and it's in their memory. And that brings them joy. So, what are the aspects of joy? And, it's amazing to have this book of, it's an angel book, Angel Blessings. And joy, it goes on, joy in here, joy is food for the soul. The aroma of eternal ecstasy wafting on heavenly air. Wow. Food for the soul, wafting on heavenly air. Joy is not something to be acquired. Like true happiness, lasting joy is your natural state and may only be found deep within. To feel joy is a spontaneous and contagious gift of grace. Catch it from a bubbling brook, the song of a bird, or a radiant flower newly opened. And then pass it on to those you encounter during the day. Not beautiful? Isn't that, doesn't that make you feel good? To think about that we have the power to grasp joy, to live in joy and share it with others. And most of us spend most of our days overthinking, overthinking everything. And when we do that overthinking, what we're doing unintentionally is creating a negative field of energy. Even when we think positive thoughts, what invariably happens is we think too long, too hard, and we get very intense. And you can feel yourself doing this. I'm not telling you anything you don't know or cannot witness. And we get into that intensity, and then all of a sudden, the frustration or the anger arises, or the distortion in the energy field, and what you're thinking about shuts down. This is because there's no joy in what we're doing. It becomes work. Doesn't mean work can't be joyous. It can be joyous when you are joyous in your work. But joyousness doesn't come from the work. You are the joy. If I can just make everybody look inside themselves and just grasp moments of time in your life when you were just happy and joyous. Many of us would have to go way back to early childhood. And even then, some may never have experienced joy. How sad is that? What are their lives like? Can we understand why there is so much anger in the world? Can we understand why there's so much hatred in the world? What if these beautiful children never experienced joy at a conscious level of humanity? when we take a look around the world today, how many children are not or will not understand many moments of joy? Which brings me to why we're here now. Part of our responsibility is to shift that, is to offer the joy that we find within ourselves and share it from our hearts to others. This is what we do in the Global Heart Team, as we come into our hearts and radiate the love and the joy and the peace out into the world, to those who may ask for it, to those areas of the world where we know people are struggling. And it can just be a traffic intersection where everybody comes and their agitation grows and they're waiting for the red light and the green light and all that. Think about that, the energy field of a busy traffic intersection. Send them joy. Send them love. Doesn't cost us anything. Does not cost us a cent. And the process is, the more we offer joy, the more we offer love, the more we offer kindness, the more we receive from our angelic higher self, if you will. And so the journey of 2021 is really to access those higher levels of positive energy. Not just the ones outside of us, but the ones we create within us. Good morning, Wayne, Sherry, Terry, Victoria, Deborah, Sherry, Penny, angels, all of you, angels, all of you beings of joy. Sit and think, what makes you joyous? What makes you joyous? Just think about that. Even if you only get one thing, it's fine. What makes you joyous? I'm not saying happy. Happy is happy. I'm talking about joyous. I'm talking about filling yourself with joy. Joy is that level of happiness that radiates with power. You know the song, Joy to the World? Just that, never mind anything. Joy to the world. You can put anything you want afterwards. Joy to the world. Notice the sound frequency of that. Notice the notes. It's a calling. It's an invitation. It's like somebody blowing a horn. Come over here. Come be in joy. Why? Because when we're in joy, everything resonates in harmonic balance. And we become a magnet for joy. We actually shift our energetic frequencies, just like we do when we share love. We change our energetic frequencies to a greater, more powerful attractor field for similar vibrations. And when we do that, then we emanate that more rapidly and more widely throughout our environment. And this is just a natural process that we've forgotten, we don't pay attention to, because we're so busy with everyday life. And as we create life that has more struggles and more pains in the neck, like I talked about my computers, and I know exactly why they're there, and I know exactly why they're happening and doing what they're doing. They're doing all of that to remind me who I am and that I have power that they don't have. I have wisdom and knowledge that they don't have. And so do you. Because we are all angelic beings. And we were all angelic beings before we came into our human presence. And when we leave, we will return to that angelic beingness. There's tens and millions of stories. They all speak about aspects of that. Is any one more true than the other? Is there any one single way we can look at this? No. How many people are on this planet? 8 billion people? There's 8 billion ways of looking at this. And yet, there's only one. We are a higher self expressing itself in a singular form in a world of duality. But that true self, one of its attributes is joy. And it's time now, and this is my message this morning, for all of us to start thinking about what gives me joy. And when I'm in joy, is my joy giving others joy? Because that's a way to measure it. If my joy is hurting someone else, maybe I need to look at that. Maybe I need to look at that. Because this is what's happened to us, is we've been taught that joy is what we have. Joy is all of these things that we've created. What I'm telling you this morning, joy starts here and emanates from here. And if what you're doing and what you're seeing and what you're feeling doesn't remain joy from here to there and interfacing with someone else and uplifting them or reconnecting them to their joy, then at some point there's an interference. And I'm not blaming anybody for that interference. That's sort of the interference of the frequency of joy. And that's then our point to seek out what that is. What that is. Whether we understand exactly where it came from is irrelevant. But to recognize that we have it and we're doing it. And to learn to say, no, I'm not going to act like that. So the questions that arose were, do you welcome joy into your life? Do you know that knowledge, truth, and vision are also forms of joy? Joyfulness is energizing and creative. It automatically attunes you to angels, whether you believe in them or not. The image we have of angels, or at least I do anyway, is that they are seemingly creative and playful. Don't you want to be creative and playful? Isn't that what love and happiness and joy and what abundance is all about, is being creatively playful? Yes, there are visions of the angels who are powerful and strong and stern, and they're the guardians. But in that sternness and that power, they can also be playful. They don't always have to be that. That's just their responsibility. Just like in our lives, we have responsibilities to be leaders. We have responsibilities to be parents. We have responsibilities to be farmers and take care of land. But that doesn't negate joy. And if whatever we're doing in our world, if we're not emanating joy, then we've lost touch with who we truly are, whether you believe in angels or not. That's irrelevant. But you've lost a part of yourself. And right now, 2021 is asking us to go take a look. Go find yourself. Go find yourself. Because when you find yourself, you'll realize how amazing you truly are. And that your joy isn't coming from somebody else. Your joy needs to come from within your own heart. And it's only when we open our heart, and yeah, we're going to get hurt. People are going to hurt us. They're going to say nasty things to us. They're going to not allow us to speak our truth because they don't want to hear your truth. Because your truth is their truth. And in order for them to listen, they have to question, why am I doing what I'm doing? We're all mirrors for each other. Everything can become anything. Everyone can become everything. Because we all live in this world of possibilities. And when we forget, we notice the difference immediately. Captain of my own experience, both hands on the wheel. Captain Wayne, bless you. Bless you for being the captain. And may your journey be one of peace and light and love within you. Because then when we choose to be the captains of our lives and the sovereign beings that we truly are, we realize that we have that power. And what a greater response we get when we offer the power of peace, light, and love than when we offer the power of rules and regulations. Yet there are rules and regulations. And they're basically guidelines. And when we see them, we need to respect them because they're boundaries. It's like the page. You can keep writing off the page, but then it becomes non-existent or has no effect. So part of life is staying on the page and having rules and guidance that keep you in alignment. But they're not rules that dictate how you are to experience your joy. Because your joy is part of your sovereign beingness. And if you're not being joyous, come back into your hearts and ask, how do I become like a child again? And this is what the angels are asking us. Become a child. Become the child again. We know that you were hurt as children. And you can see the pain that's being inflicted in the children around you right now. They're being robbed of their playfulness, just like you were robbed of your playfulness. You were given a world of rules and regulations that placed you in a very narrow way of existence. It's time now to not revolt, to not raise arms and weapons against this. It's time to look at this container and say, I no longer need a container. I am joy. I am peace. I am love. I am light. I am you. You are me. We are unity. We are one living being in many, many forms. See yourself in others. See others in yourself. It's not hard. We do it very easily to come up with hatred for them. It comes up very easily to say, I want what that person has. We do it all the time. Why can't we do it with joy, with joyfulness, with playfulness? And the reason is that was taken away. That was hidden from us. And we were told that to be that was to be foolish, was to be non-structural, to be that you were never going to be anybody or go anywhere or do anything if you maintained that innocence. And that's the word, innocence. Thank you, angels. Innocence. Come back to your innocence. The return to innocence. My words are saying to become as little children who don't try to figure things out in order to overpower someone else. Instead, they enjoy the process of wonder. And in that moment, everything can become anything. When you look at what the children of the world today are creating, you don't hear many of the stories, but 15-year-olds and 18-year-olds who are creating technology that scientists have been working, or for years, doctors, they're creating new ways of connecting everything and making it work for the good of everyone. children. Not people who have been doing this, not that they aren't, for 40, 50 years. But those people are stuck in a world that they created. The children are free. They are free to think. They're not trapped in that world, in that box. This is where we are. We are becoming the children. This is the message, to become the children again. No, we're not going to be the 14-year-olds and the 15-year-olds. But when we let go, and come back into joy, we can then go and dance with the children and share our wisdom and our knowledge as guidance and fences along their path to say, no, you don't need to go there. We did that, it didn't work. We work together in joy. And angels of joy will surround us. Guardians. I am surrounded by many angels protecting me with every step I take. I know I am not alone. I am guided by angels. They may come from the spirit world or the world or form. People I meet on the street, work with, or even live with may be angels in disguise. May I always remember them and realize I may be an angel to others. It's called the Ring Galaxy. We are a ring of beings in a ring of joy. Let's gurgle, let's spread across the land as the water, singing and dancing and offering each other our brilliance and our bright light, flowing like the eternal river from the source of our higher dimensional self. Yes, it's hard. It's hard to come from this place where we're at right now and raise ourselves up into that place of freedom, true freedom, where we can express from our hearts without fear, where we can offer the best of who we are to everyone, and where we can trust in the world, not only trusting in the spirit of who we are. It's about manifesting that spirit. It's about allowing that spirit to flow without obstruction. And yes, sometimes it's going to be painful. We're going to lose loved ones. We're going to end up bankrupt, lose all our possessions. All of those possibilities exist. I know. It's happened to me. There isn't much life can do to me anymore. And the message today is be in joy. Be in joy, Charlie. What is the world going to do to you now that hasn't already been done? has no power. It only has as much power as we fear. So today's message is really powerful in the respect that in order to overcome fear, all we need to do is place our trust in joy. Find the moments of true joy and focus on it and share it with others. I'm not here to tell you how. All I can do is express what I'm feeling and what I'm going through, and knowing that we're all in this together. I for less time than many of you. So it's important right now for all of us to take whatever time we have in this year of 2021 and really dive into ourselves and ask those questions and find those places of pain and burden and release them and come back to assisting the children who are born now, the young children with a vocabulary that is unbelievable, with the children who are understanding science, mechanics at 5 years old, who are rattling off things that there's no way anybody taught that to them. They're ready. They're ready to embrace the world. And it's our responsibility to show them what the world really can be when we express joy in our lives rather than pain and suffering. We could all cry. Every one of us can cry about something. Let's choose laughter. Let's choose love. Let's choose each other. I love you. I thank you. I respect you. I am you. You are me. We are unity. And that's no idle statement. That's sent with all my love, with all my peace and all my light. And now, as I understand it today, all my joy. Thank you, every one of you, for being here. I know I've been going a little longer, 45 minutes, but that seems not too bad to lose too many people. I know if I keep going longer, I will put you all to sleep, but that's okay. It'll be a nice sleep, I promise you. You'll have sweet dreams. Victoria, Wayne, Jaden, you're so many blessed beings on the side of this, this sideline. I can only wish the best for each of you. And take whatever has attracted you to my talks and the things that come through my talks as my speaking from my heart to yours. And just remember that everybody's not going to get the same message from what is being said. And it's uniquely given to trigger something in you. So there's no right way, there's no wrong way. It's whatever it's opening for you. And if it's not opening anything for you, or if it's creating distortion and anger in you, then look at that. Look at that, because that's an important message. And I will ask you, do you want to continue living with that anger or that denial or that, whatever, frustration? The choice is yours. The choice right now in this year is yours to keep going on that path or to look for the path that is lighter, brighter, and a little more fun. Aho, matakwe awesome, my beautiful family. Thank you. May you have a wonderful week. It's Valentine's. Spread your love. Love everything. Doesn't matter. Love your computer. It doesn't matter. Love. Send it out there. The more love we send out this Valentine's Day, even for no reason or for silly reasons, sends the message to the world. We are here. We are here. We are here. Bless you all. And we'll see you next Friday. And as usual, I post this on my blog and yada yada, Facebook, etc. You can find me. Google knows more about me than I do. And if you don't want to find me, that's good too. Be at peace. Love you. Have a great week. Thank you all for showing up, and I will read all your notes when I get done. Thank you. It's always a joy to me to hear your expressions, even the ones that are not so nice. Bless you. Thank you. Bye-bye.